For the last few months, I've found myself absolutely obsessing over a new miniatures game. And today, I think it's time that we finally talk about it and why it's grabbed my attention.
Hi guys, my name's Josh, this is the Pickle Jar, and today, yes, we're going to be talking about Star Wars Shatterpoint, the game that has somehow managed to just completely capture all of my attention when it comes to miniature painting and my hobby. In fact, it is this very game that is the main reason why I've not really posted anything in quite a while in terms of full-length videos. I've just been enjoying painting the miniatures so much that I've not really wanted to stop and film. Now, as a content creator, that is a little bit of an issue, but I've sort of taken some time. I've just enjoyed working on these miniatures and working on this game and playing this game. And now I feel like I want to talk about it and explain why I'm enjoying it so much. Now, I just want to be fully transparent at the start of this video before we go any further that Asmodee did send me the core box. They sent me that before it came out, just before it came out, and the initial content that I've done for Star Wars Shatterpoint was from that box. That being said, everything since then has come from either my own pocket or has been bought for me as gifts for my birthday, which was at the start of this month, and I have absolutely no problem with continuing to buy stuff for this game. That's enough of a ramble at the beginning of the video. Let's get into why exactly I'm enjoying this game so much. First and foremost, I think, is a pretty obvious one, and that is the miniatures. The miniatures for this game are absolutely phenomenal. They are a slightly bigger scale to things like Warhammer and Age of Sigmar and 40k and things like that. They're at that slightly bigger scale, more akin to Marvel Crisis Protocol, and one of the reasons why I enjoyed working on the Marvel stuff so much is because of that slightly bigger scale and each model being its own individual character rather than painting up squads of people that are all essentially the same. Being able to tackle each individual model as its own project and its own character is a really nice change of pace when you compare it to games like Warhammer 40k, where you paint up an entire squad that is essentially the same. It also means that when you're playing Star Wars Shatterpoint, you're not really tied into any one paint scheme because every single model generally is going to be that little bit different. I love painting salamanders, for example, for Warhammer 40k, but every now and then I fancy painting a different chapter, but then that feels like a waste because it's not going towards my army and it's just a random model that's going to sit and not actually do anything. Generally, I've found myself swinging towards playing as Sith and the Separatists and the droids whilst playing Star Wars Shatterpoint, but that's not stopped me from buying all the other boxes just because they're going to be really fun painting projects. That slightly bigger scale means that you can add a little bit more detail and spend a little bit more time on things without them being too overly complicated, having too many bits and pieces on them that need painting. Long story short, these models lend themselves to either really nice, simple, quick paint jobs or really in-depth, top-tier, really nice paint jobs. It just depends on what you want to do with them. So yes, I like the miniatures for Star Wars Shatterpoint, but I like the miniatures for Marvel Crisis Protocol, and yet I've still never played a game of that. So why is Star Wars Shatterpoint any different? The short and somewhat simple answer to that is just that I care more about Star Wars than I do about Marvel. As a kid, I grew up watching the original trilogy on VHS, and then the prequels came out while I was at the age when I should have been appreciating the prequels. Since then, as I've got older, I have delved more into the old canon, the old expanded universe in terms of the novels, in terms of comic books and video games, and the newer TV series and movies. All that is to say that I am a little bit more invested in the entirety of the Star Wars universe. I have taken in and watched everything and read, not everything, but a lot of the stuff that is available, whereas with Marvel, I've only ever really been mega bothered about a couple of superheroes, and then the rest of them I sort of know of, but I don't have that sort of extended backstory and connection with them. I still enjoy the MCU and I still enjoy reading my Spider-Man comics, but that's about as far as it goes with Marvel. It's the same reason why I fanatically have collected Star Wars Legion for the last couple of years, but unlike Star Wars Legion, Shatterpoint is actually being worked on. Which brings me to my third point. You don't need many models to play this game. Now, yes, I am buying every single expansion that comes out and I am painting up everything. A little bit slower than Elston, but I am still painting everything. Star Wars Legion was scratching that itch for a while, but because of the large model count, because it is a full army game rather than a smaller scale game like Shatterpoint, it just sort of started to take its toll on me. Now, I am going to finish my Star Wars Legion project at some point, but it's no longer a priority for me. I am getting my Star Wars fill with Shatterpoint now, and I'm enjoying it a lot more. I've always been a big fan of games that have a small model count, which allows you a little bit more time to spend on them while you're painting to give them a little bit more detail and a little bit more character. It also means that each project isn't going to take months and months and years. Realistically, you can get it done in a few days. I'm talking about games like Blood Bowl, Warcry, Frostgrave, Kill Team, anything like this where you only have a handful of models compared to a full army's worth, means that each project won't take long, and therefore you can do more projects for that game and vary up your painting style. This, coupled with what I said earlier on in that each model is its own separate painting project, and Star Wars Shatterpoint has got something really unique. Before I move on, I just want to take a quick moment to tell you about this video's sponsor, Magiseven. Do you like playing D&D but you're fed up of having to re-roll the same dice 7 times every time you do an attack? Well, why not treat yourself to an extra few sets of dice from Magiseven? Magiseven offers some absolutely fantastic glass and gemstone dice at a very reasonable price. When they first got in touch, they sent me out a couple of sets, one a glass set and one a gemstone set, and I liked them so much that I actually ordered a second set of each, just because I liked them so much. The gemstone dice themselves are made in the largest gemstone dice manufacturer that's been going for 15 years. And so they definitely know what they're doing. So if you're thinking about treating yourself to a new dice set, or you're wanting to buy one for a friend or loved one, then drop down into the description below and click on the link for Magiseven. Thanks again to Magiseven for being today's sponsor. Now, back to the video. The fourth and final point that I want to make as to why I'm enjoying this game so much is the game itself. I am really enjoying the gameplay for Star Wars Shatterpoint. It's got an inbuilt or rubber banding mechanic so that you never have that feel bad moment where you've had a really rubbish first turn and the rest of the game is kind of already written in stone. There's always a chance to come back in Shatterpoint no matter how far behind you think you are. That, coupled with the dynamic and sort of cinematic combat trees that each character has when they're performing combat actions and fighting, makes this game feel more alive rather than it just being miniatures on a table. I like the fact that combat isn't just down to I do X amount of damage, take that from your X amount of wounds. Combat can be all sorts of things. It can be repositioning people using force push. It can be pinning people down and removing some of their abilities and maneuvering yourself around the battlefield. It feels more like an actual fight than anything else I've ever played miniatures wise. Now, I know that all this video has sounded kind of like a bit of a commercial for Star Wars Shatterpoint, and honestly, I don't care that that's what it sounds like. I'm enjoying this game so much. I'm enjoying painting the miniatures. I'm enjoying playing with friends. I am enjoying thinking about content that I want to make for this game. I've got plans for some more painting tutorials, and I've also got plans to do some battle report style things with a couple of other content creators, and I'm really looking forward to showing you guys how to play. If you'd like to see more Star Wars Shatterpoint content on the channel, make sure to leave a comment down below letting me know exactly what it is you'd like to see. Anyway, that's going to do it from me, guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, enjoy your hobby.